And so I was really, conflicted. So I was really like scared. And then I realized, okay, I actually should participate because they want me to. But my heart would pound and pound. And every time I wanted to put my hands up, I'm actually like, my heart's beating. I'm thinking about it. By the time I finish thinking, it's already moved on. Hi everybody and welcome back to our show. It's 𝐿𝐸 here.
Jennifer 𝐂𝐿.
Jackie Ashley.
And this is the Rise and Shine show where we help you to
F your way to success.
Now in today's episode, we're going to share with you the 5 skills that are hard to learn but will pay off for life.
Yes.
Now before we share what those are, of course we like to try out some new food.
What do you have for us today,
Lynn? We'll introduce some new food.
So what is that?
Vietnamese, we always love to create these kind of dessert dishes that are called glutinous rice. And
so what happens to people gluten-free? This is not for them.
I don't
know.
Is it got to do with gluten?
No, I don't think so.
It's different.
Okay,
I don't know.
Oh, okay, well, don't.
We are not
that. We're not
nutritionists.
sure.
Or
We don't
So
know.
you do know, let us know.
Yeah.
But basically, it's got mung beans in it, and what we love about these rice is that it's just so chewy. It's actually the texture of eating it that makes you want to eat more. It's different to the normal rice because normal rice isn't the stickiness, but this stickiness just makes you want to eat more.
So is that nuts as well? Because I can taste some peanuts.
They sprinkled some nuts and some sugar. But see the it's just gooey. It's really heavy.
It could be a while before we
This is not
start
good for
talking.
your diet because when it comes to trying to not eat carbs, this is hard to resist because it's so chewy and sweet.
Right.
It's like a dessert. But
And if you want to shut someone up, you give
so
them some glutinous
Chinese
rice.
people don't eat this because I thought this is like an Asian thing. Every Asian.
Yeah, but
No, they do have the savory version.
We have a savory
the lo mai
version.
cay, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I would say Thai might be very similar to Vietnamese, where there's a lot of these sticky rice and mango, sticky rice type stuff. Yeah, I guess the other word for it is sticky rice.
Yeah,
sticky rice.
Yeah, sticky
But
rice.
there you go. Let us know in the comments below if you love sticky rice.
And if you haven't, go and try some.
Yes.
Oh, Asian groceries. You get them from Asian
Yeah,
groceries.
so if
right?
you're in Sydney, Australia, there's a place called Cabramatta that sells all of these things. But I'm sure
Maryville has it as well.
Is it?
Bankstown has it. Come on.
Well, I don't live in the Viet area, so it's very rare for me to be able to get to eat this again. But I can't wait to go to Melbourne where my family lives and I get to try it all again. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 skills that are hard to do, but it actually pays you off. So, what are they for all of us?
Well, the first one.
I think public speaking. They say, is it the next thing to fearing of death is public speaking? Oh my God, I don't know about you, but I was so scared of speaking in front of people. So I don't look like a shy girl now, but I was born in Vietnam and, we were very obedient. We go to school and we kind of never speak. And it's the more obedient you are, the more you don't talk too much, the better you are.
Yeah.
So I was very shy. I was very scared. And so when I came to Australia, it was the opposite. The more you participate, the more you talk, the more you are a good student. Yeah. And so I was really, conflicted. So I was really like scared. And then I realized, okay, I actually should participate because they want me to. But my heart would pound and pound. And every time I wanted to put my hands up, I'm actually like, my heart's beating. I'm thinking about it. By the time I finish thinking, it's already moved on. So at every parent-teacher interview, it's like, Lynn needs to participate more. So I went on a journey from year 7. I said to myself, that's it. I'm going to, improve on my public speaking and be out there. So I put my hand up for everything. I was still very scared, but I did it anyway. And I reckon it's taken me a long time. I would say even like 20 years of nurturing or improving on this skill set. And I finally feel like I'm not shy anymore. When there's not as much of a heart pounding or not as much of fear. Yeah. It's because the thing about learning new skill is that it takes you a long time before you actually master it, where it feels normal. But public speaking is one of those things where I was pounding for a long time. How about yourself?
I think for me, yes, definitely public speaking or even just voicing up. And it was like you said, I was in like high school or even primary school, and every single time the teachers would say, okay, we need someone to read whatever paragraph or page, and I'll be going. And then they'll go, Jennifer. As soon as I hear the word Jennifer, my heart was like, dum, 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 and then I start to have like breaking out into a sweat. and behind my neck is all wet, and my palms get all wet, and my voice gets like this, and I literally would read like this, and started, and then they look at me, and my teachers actually pulled me over afterwards, and goes, Jennifer, you don't have to stutter. Why do you read with a stutter?
You read with the stutter.
So yeah, but I have to make a decision, and you know, like once you just, it takes a while. Let's put it this way: if you, for some reason, some of us have a fear of listening to our own voice. I don't know what it is. Maybe lack of confidence. I don't know what it is for me still. But
I think most of us Asians are very shy naturally, or our culture kind of suppresses us.
Yeah, it's
and
a
so
culture.
we don't speak out.
Even me, I mean, I'm born here in Sydney, Australia, but our culture still, like when I was young, you may see us now, you may see me now, also people say, oh, you're so confident, you always, but actually it's taken a long time. And even now, in front of camera, there's always that shyness behind it. Like behind it, I'm not like very,
yeah, shyness.
I know, they're actually, most people see me, but they're inside actually, I'm more than introvert than anything. So actually practicing public speaking, you know, is a really, really great skill to learn, because over the years, it gets a little bit easier, it does get a little bit easier. And I started practicing like in high school as well. I put my hands up for public speaking and debating just to get myself out there, just to force myself. And even if I didn't like it, I still did it. And I did attend a Toastmasters class. Have you attended one of those?
I heard about it. Yes.
I attended at one of those, and I thought, okay, but look, there are certain things that takes time, and this is one of them that takes time to practice over and over and over again, so you can get a little bit more comfortable.
The benefit of it, why it pays off is that imagine you're in a group setting, and let's say you participate in a group, and then the teacher asks questions. Now, if you participate, it just means that, let's say in the business setting, right?
Yep.
Other people will hear from you. Oh, I remember her; she spoke out. But if you're too shy to speak out, no one's going to know who you are. You miss all those opportunities. But then speaking on stage, it's about speaking on videos like this. Public speaking actually spreads a lot more than just like you're thinking it's just like speaking in front of an audience on stage. It's actually like, I guess, just speaking anywhere, speaking out, whether it's small group, big group, video, or
definitely.
offline.
I mean, there's a huge advantage in having the ability of able to communicate effectively. And I think when you're able to communicate effectively, your message gets out there, you're being heard. A lot of times you might have a really amazing business or an amazing service, but you can't communicate that. There's a break in that circuit.
Yeah. Well, this leads to the second skill, which is so opposite to speaking, is listening. So as I got so good at public speaking, I would say I was more confident, I really love being that loud person and talking, participate. I struggled with listening, which is really damaging, because then when you're not listening, you don't really know what the other person's trying to say. You're missing out on opportunities. Like even in sales, it's not about what you're selling at them. It's what are you listening to their problem, how their needs, and what is it that exactly that they want that you can help them with. So listening is actually a very challenging skill set.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of time, I'm actually quite impatient as a person. So when I'm listening to someone, and if they don't get to the point, I'm like, okay, get on with it. What is it? And it's a struggle that I have. So it's actually not very nice. And so over the years, I've learned to, just take a breath. And yes, they'll get to it. Imagine it's just like sex. It'll get good, it gets there.
It gets better. Okay, that's great. For me, I have to admit, I used to be really bad at listening, because I was listening, but at the same time, I was trying to think, okay, what to say next. So I was either focusing on what to say next, or I need to get this out, because if I need to get it out before I forget what I'm about to say, because if I don't get it out, then they won't hear what I have to say. But
so it's all about ourselves and not about the other
it's all about ourselves. So, but now it's like, you know what, the more you listen, you'll find not only will you learn more about them, but you also learn more about yourself. So
that is powerful. And by listening, it's about actually asking questions so that you could get the answers you want to. So, when I work in my business, I'm learning to actually ask my team, like instead of going telling them the answer or telling them what I want, I'm going, what would you do, or what do you think of this? So it's asking questions so that I give them a chance to talk. So as a leader, it's about even allowing others to talk more than you. Talk when you need to talk, but it doesn't mean you always talk. But the ability to listen at the same time.
Yeah, definitely listening will actually keep us informed of what's really going on, and to be able to see things from many different perspectives, because I mean, we're only seeing it from one angle, but you know, if you listen to more, then that's more extra information. So for us to even help to make an informed decision. So listening is a very important skill.
So what would you say your third skill is?
I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. Be present. Be
that
in
is
the
so
now.
hard once again, because we're such high achievers, ambitious, and we've got so much plans. We got so much things to do.
What to do next? What to do next? What's next? Oh, we've got to do this. We've got to do this. I'm going to meet this person. We've got to do that. But then we come back, and we've got to really focus back on, let's just be in the moment. Let's enjoy what we have right now. We're here talking to each other, and being present allows you to just enjoy life more, because it's about the journey, right?
Yes. I mean, we don't know how far we get to live. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what God's plan is for us. So there's no point in planning too much and thinking too far. It's really about like, what can you do right now, the best of your ability, and be in the moment.
I think it's having the future in mind and having your vision in mind, but being now. So have that there, knowing that you're wanting something, but being now. Right?
Yeah,
So
I think a lot of time people think about being present, and then they're not really, because it's actually a really big struggle for a lot of people to try and be present, because they're so focused and so worried about the future, and they worry about what if. But
I have to think of the future, because that sense of I need to control everything.
Correct. But you can't, like, you can anticipate, but then you have to kind of, because people forget that the present actually affects the future. So if we're not being present, we can't control. You know what I mean? A lot of people keep thinking about the future.
It's the only thing you can control now, right now.
We're just chasing it.
Yeah.
It's never come.
But we need to actually be present, control the present, because understanding that the present actually influences the future. But because if you're so focused worrying about the future, you're not embracing the present. You're not controlling what you can.
So overall, in the sense, I just try to live my day each day. So I'm always like, what can I do today, the best that I can? And then I kind of stop. I even put myself an alarm at 3 o'clock when I'm about to pick up the kids. It says like, you know, trust God, surrender. The day's done, right? Because sometimes you feel like you need to push a bit more, do a bit more, do a bit more. But then it's not about working hard. It's actually even about sometimes giving yourself that break, that reset. So that next day, it's because sometimes things that happen in life that's out of your control, meaning new opportunities could come in. You actually don't even have to work that hard. The right person comes in, the right opportunity comes, and it's actually easier than you anticipated.
Which leads us to the next one, which I think is very important, is self-discipline. So having the self-discipline to actually know how to surrender, when to start, when to stop. Having that self-discipline, I think, is really important. A lot of people struggle with self-discipline. They have massive plans, massive goals and things like that, and they do it like a sprint, and then they kind of run out of breath.
Being consistent, right? You want to be consistent, but then how do you be consistent, right?
Yeah. So luckily for me, when I was younger, I wanted to do karate. So I was like, I want to do karate like everyone else. But then I realized it was just repetitive, the same thing again, every single week. I think 2 hours, but the first hour was warming up. It was exactly the same routine, and I started to get so bored. And I really wanted to quit. My dad was one of those tiger dads. It's like, don't you dare quit. So I had to push myself, and I think there's an experience. It's different when you're a kid and you experience something like that, because it kind of instills in you. So I remember just going through repetition and again. And one thing that did click to me is when I finally got convinced my dad I have to quit because I don't like it. And he was really upset. He's just like, you're gonna amount to nothing, like you're the type that will always quit. Now that was stuck in my head, and I said, okay, I am disappointed that I didn't make you happy, that I'm quitting this, but I promise you, in my head, I was like, I am not a quitter. So I think that was a turning point for me, where I decided that I'm always going to be, like, I'll be the type that never gives up, right? And the other thing was, they also got me to do sewing for them since I was 10 years old. So as a young kid, being trained to do repetition, work again and again every day, like Groundhog Day, it's just never ends. It's instilled in me with this kind of, go, discipline. But it gets boring when you repeat.
unless you have a really strong why as to why you're doing something, then your discipline and your consistency you're going to be more consistent. So I think really is understanding why you're doing that. Why are you teaching your daughter? Like for me, like I'm always telling my daughter, practice piano every day. It doesn't mean at 5 minutes or whatever. I don't try to be a tiger mom, but you know what? I really understand it because the more you practice, you're going to thank me later because you're going to come back. Because this is something I wished when I was young. I wished Mum, forced me to play piano more so I could, be real fluent and I could play, but I'm not that great. But now with my daughter, I just say, just have fun. You can play, but just practice a little bit. So it's having that consistency and being disciplined to just do it. But you can jazz it up. Don't make it boring. To just change it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it gets easier the more you can discipline yourself. And like I said, I always tell myself, you're not trying to get to a destination. It's like you're trying to enjoy the journey and do better. Yeah. And even if you get off track, you go back again. So it's definitely a skill set that you need.
Actually, self-discipline allows us to really explore the different areas in our lives, right? So a lot of people kind of try new things and they find it's uncomfortable. So when they see, from time to time, you realize that people go, oh, I love golfing or dancing or whatever. And then they start to go into those classes, and as soon as they start to go into classes, they feel a certain sense of discomfort because they're not used to it, because it's new, right? Everything's like that. And then they don't have the discipline to follow through.
Yep.
But if you do have, then you may never know what you could actually be discovering.
And I would say the reason why I have a stronger self-discipline is that I take my words really seriously. I care about what I say to myself, and I care about what I tell people. So if I tell myself that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And if I know that sometimes I go off track, but I'm like, no, I'm going to do it again. And so unless you take yourself serious, because I think sometimes people just goes, oh, well, I said it, but I changed my mind. I don't care. And that is when it's easy for you to not build your self-discipline.
Or they have excuses. Oh, this doesn't work for me. So, or this isn't aligned with me anymore. I've changed, or whatever it is. Whatever it is, excuses that we give ourselves to actually, to justify the fact that we want to give up something. Just have to be mindful about that as well.
This leads to our final skill, which is the ability to learn, the ability to read and absorb information. Because I think a lot of people who think that I've finished uni, I finished study, why should I study more? Have you heard of that's common sense? I already know that's common sense. And it's kind of ignorant, and it just limits your ability to grow and learn and
see the world and see things from different perspectives.
But it is actually a skill, because I remember I never read a book. I mean, I only read the textbooks at school. And then I never thought that I would like reading. But then when I picked up a really good book, I think it was Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I actually liked the topic. And so then I kind of liked that first book. Then I read another book, and it actually became a skill set of learning, of always reminding yourself to read something, to learn something.
But reading doesn't have to be read. If you don't like reading, try listening to audibles or finding. It's more about learning, finding ways to continue learning, because the learning journey never ends, right?
Definitely. Learning is definitely a journey. So there's a lot of ways that we can learn. I mean, these days there's reading, there's Audible, if you want to be entertained, there's YouTube, and then of course there's us.
You can learn from us.
You can learn from us, right?
So there's a lot of different medium nowadays, with technology and things like that people can actually continue to do learning. And learning should be a way that I find that with learning, when we learn and we teach what we learn, or we share what we learn, whether it's our family, friends, or people, or community, that generosity in sharing and gratitude and things like that, through we actually learn more. I find that I learn more from teaching.
Love it. Well, love to hear in the comments below which were your favorite skill. Which one would you like to work on this year? Because all of those, even though we've got it, we can still get better at it.
Definitely. There's always room for improvement.
Always. The learning never stops.
No.
Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you love this video, there are more videos like this, so do check out our past videos. But of course, don't forget to follow us so that you get notification when we have our videos every single Tuesday at 7 a.m. Sydney time. Thank you so much for watching. It's Lynn here.
Jennifer 𝐂𝐿.
Jackie Ashley.